Hello, how's everybody doing? Retropalooza 2022, how are you doing today? Awesome. Well, it's great to see so many awesome faces here. I am G, also known as G to the next level, and I am honored and thrilled to be the host for the panel for an incredibly talented voice actress. She's done so many different things through so many different worlds and so many different years and times, and you all might know her best as a certain little side pick, two-tailed fox. You may have heard of him, certainly. But in any case, give a big, round, warm applause for Colleen O'Shaughnessy.
Hello. How's everybody doing? Oh, you must be over there. You stay over here.
Oh, you're good.
What's happening?
You're good.
I didn't know we had seats.
All right, well, welcome in. Welcome to Allison.
Thank you. I'm just gonna take it out there. Hello.
Awesome. So you're actually a semi-local now to where I am. Colleen and I recently we did a panel, or actually hosted their panel at a convention a couple months ago, and so now you're in my local neck of the woods.
Yes. Well, I'm happy to be here. It's been lovely.
Awesome. How you experiencing Dallas so far?
I haven't experienced much of it, but what I've seen has been fun. I mean, I get so tired, so I end up going back to the hotel. But I had some delicious barbecue last night, and I wish I could remember the name of it. But it was, oh my goodness, I had some brisket, and some ribs.
Oh, Texas barbecue is the best.
Yum.
Right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Sweet. All right. So, for those who are in the audience who are not familiar with your work, just do a little introduction about yourself.
My name is Colleen O'Shaughnessy. I do voiceovers. So I have done a fair amount of anime. You might know me from Naruto. I play Ino and Konohamaru and Hanabi. And then in Boruto, I play Chocho, and I'm still Ino and Hanabi. But Konohamaru grew up, so I'm no longer him in Boruto. Digimon, I played Sora. Danny, yay! Bleach, I play Nell. Ichigo! Oh, she didn't cry. She's coming back!
Yeah!
Any Bleach fans? Yeah? Cool. She's coming back. Lots of video games. You guys probably know better than I do. Tales in the Sonic series, which is awesome. Jazz from Danny Phantom. Yay! Wasp from the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Oh, such a good show.
Oh my gosh. What a blast that show was to work on. Oh my gosh. And it was one of the ones where we all got to work together, which is amazing always. So super fun. So anyway, that's what I do. I do voiceovers wherever they will have me. That is where I go. So, and these days though, it's just my closet. That's as far as I get is my closet. My husband has been building me a booth like all year. He's doing it on his own, so it's
awesome.
It's taking a while, but we're getting close.
Hey, once you're there, you're there.
Getting close. I just gotta get that stuff out of my closet. I can't get to my stuff.
No.
It's frustrating. You know what it is? I can pull everything out, but putting stuff away is like...
That's always the toughest part. It's like, it's easy to pull. It's easy to take. It's hard to add.
Yeah, and then you get the one thing and everything falls. Like my shoes are it's getting critical mass now. So. That's me.
Awesome. All right, so what we're gonna do is I've got a couple of questions for you. I've actually got lined up, and so after that we'll open it up to audience Q&A. So if anybody has any questions, we'll go ahead and we'll get that ready when that happens. So yeah. All right. So first kind of question that I have for you is, so as a voice actor, you're doing multiple things: anime, TV, video games, all kinds of different things. What would you say when you get to work and when you're getting ready for the day, what do you feel are like your main motivation factors? Like what gets you amped up? What gets you ready to work?
Tea with some caffeine in it. You know what? I love what I do. I'm so very lucky to get to call this my career, honestly. I just get to play all day. So I don't need a lot of motivation. Like, yes, please. They want me. I am so happy to be there. I just absolutely love my job. I really do. I'm so lucky. It's just so much fun. So I don't need a ton of motivation.
Hey, that's more than fair.
Which is awesome. And then they pay me, which is like bonus. So you know, I don't need any more motivation than that. It's just amazing. And then I get to come and meet you guys. Like that's really cool. Really, I mean, you guys are so lovely and wonderful and supportive and complimentary, and it's just so great to meet you guys in person because it's nice.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. Like, what better motivation is it to be able to do something that you love and that you're passionate about for a living, and to be able to meet people who share that same passion of what you're involved in?
Yeah, it's really cool. And you never know which franchises people are gonna love, but I've been so lucky to be on so many that people do love. So I don't know, I feel very lucky.
So that's an interesting thing because my wife is a huge fan of Firewoman, and she's been loving Three Houses and Three Hopes. And when I got a chance to say, hey, I'm going to get to be Colleen O'Shaughnessy, she's like, wait a minute, she's in Firewoman? And it's like, yep, that's her. Like, that's awesome.
Super fun. And I love working on the games too, because I don't play a lot of video games. I like board games. We're cutthroat board game people. Get us some Settlers of Catan going, and we'll be there for hours. Yeah.
Nice.
So I don't play a lot of them. So when I hear that people have played, and that's the thing. Like when you're doing video games, you have scripts, so you don't get to see. Every once in a while, if it was a Japanese game and there's pieces of it that we have to dub over, we might see little bits of it, but I don't get to see the gameplay. So when people come and tell me that, oh, I've played it for 500 hours, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. I'm so glad it's a good game because I don't always know. So.
Yep. So, side question. Didn't have this one prepared. So you just mentioned that you're really big into board games. What are your favorite board games?
Settlers of Catan is definitely up there. But like for forever, like ever since I was a little kid, our family was like every holiday it was like, all right, we're getting out the games. Like so we used to play we played Big Boggle, we played Cranium. We haven't played that one in a long time.
So fun.
We like Ticket to Ride.
Yes, that's one of my favorites. Have you played the Nordic Countries expansion? Oh, not expansion, the standalone Nordic Countries.
No,
it's a free player.
We've
It's
talked about
amazing.
that. We're gonna get the Europe one, but we haven't done that yet. But yeah, we love Ticket to Ride. And then over the pandemic, we found it online, so we started playing with family members online, which was super fun.
Awesome.
What else do we play? Well, my husband hates this, but we played. Has anybody played Chicken Foot? Yes! Chicken Foot! Okay, this is my favorite, because, when you've got, your family starts getting bigger and people start having kids, so you've got little ones and big ones, and you need something that everyone can play, right? And Chicken Foot is the best, so it's a dominoes game. So you start out with the double dominoes, and sometimes we play 9s or 12s. 12s, that's going to go on for too long, and you'll lose my husband immediately. He hates the game. Because there's no... So you put down the doubles, and you gotta make the chicken foot. So you start out with the doubles, and then whoever has it is like, yay, and everyone's like, you've got 7 tiles, and if you don't have one, so say it's double sixes. So we gotta start out, all that's there is a 6. So maybe I got a 6, and now there's a 4 on the end, and there's a 6 and a 2. So I can play a 4 or 2. So now, I've got double 4s. So I put that down, and I get to go, I get to make my chicken noise, right? I mean, what could be better? And then you put down the chicken, and then you've chicken-footed everybody, and they have to have, because if it's double 4, you gotta have 4. And so the next 3 people have to have a 4, and if you don't have one, you have to pick, and then you get mad. So there's 0 skill involved except for your awesome chicken sound.
Now, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, my favorite was my grandma though. She's 101, and her chicken was I just loved it. Anyway, and then I thought I was working on, I think it was Boruto, and for whatever reason we were doing chicken sounds. I'm like, yes! I have
this for
all
years.
those skills tremendously. So anyway, but I love chicken foot, husband.
Nice. All right, so of course we're here at Retropalooza, which I've been going to Retropalooza since the very beginning, and it's really cool to see how it's kind of
10 years now. Well,
10 years next year.
Would have been COVID. Gosh darn COVID ruined everything.
Yeah, so it's really cool to see how the convention has evolved from just being about video games to being about retro pop culture, board games, collecting, TVs, movies, all that good stuff. And I know that as far as all the different roles that you say, you don't really play games a whole lot, but let's talk about some of your favorites. Films and TVs that you, or TV series that you grew up with. What were some of your favorite childhood actors or actresses that you look up to?
Well, I was all about cartoons when I was a kid, so Mel Blanc was my guy. Looney Tunes all day long. We didn't have cartoons all day long. Back in my day.
Back in my day.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, wait until it was on Saturday morning, which we'll get to that.
Saturday morning. So Mel Blanc. I loved the Muppet Show. So anything Frank Oz did was amazing. Anything Wonderful World of Disney. So I know I'm not talking about actors and actresses anymore. It's hard for me. Like when people ask me, "What's your favorite this? What's your favorite that?" It's hard for me to pick favorites of things.
Right.
So
well, let's talk about what you love.
I love lots of things, and that's the thing. Is like I have like different genres. Like I don't know what my favorite music is because I really like a lot of music. Like I like musical theater, but I also like 70s. I like oldies rock. I like some newer stuff. Sometimes give me some Tay-Tay. I'll take Tay-Tay. So I'm all over the map, and none of it makes any sense. So it's hard for me to.
It's a bowl of potpourri, basically.
It's a huge pile of potpourri.
But it looks beautiful and it's awesome. So that's really potpourri.
As long as I'm too flowery, like lavender.
Right. Okay, well then, so you mentioned cartoons. You grew up with cartoons, so you're young. You're childhood. Oh, yeah, it's like, well, I mean, like,
I was.
In the sense of childhood times. It's Saturday morning.
Okay.
And you're getting ready for Saturday morning cartoons.
Yes.
What's your ritual? What was your main?
You gotta get your cereal first, right?
What cereal?
Okay. So I liked them all. Now my mom was not a big fan of the sugar cereal, so I think the closest we got, like every once in a while though, we'd get the little boxes, which were nice.
Oh yeah, the little child size.
Yes, the little boxes. So like anytime I took our kids camping, we're like, we're getting the boxes of cereal.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, Sugar Smacks, Pops, Corn Pops.
Corn Pops, yep.
Lucky Charms.
Of course.
Are you kidding me? All of the, Count Chocula, Blueberry, and Frankincense. Frankenberry, sorry.
Frankenberry, right?
Frankincense, that would be disgusting. Don't make frankincense cereal. I just love cereal. Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks.
Apple Jacks. Even though it didn't taste like apples.
Yes.
Kind of tastes like apples.
Yeah. I mean, if you like, if I had to only pick one, that'd be impossible, but I probably would have to go with Lucky Charms.
Nice. Well, that's an excellent choice. For me, I was a Golden Grams kid, so I always grew up with that.
Yeah. So, and of course, the best flavors in those boxes, don't give me 4 Frosted Flakes. I don't want 4 Frosted Flakes. I want 4 Lucky Charms. Or the Pops, so my brother, sister, and I, there's 3 of us, so it's an odd number, so,
So you like Lucky Charms? You like Lucky Charms? So there's a Sonic cereal, right?
Delicious.
They're magically delicious. They're magically delicious. There's a Sonic cereal, right?
I did see that.
Have you had a chance to try
I
that?
have not. Is it good?
It's good. It's good. Imagine Lucky Charms, but the oat pieces actually have a little bit of honey, like a little bit of honey flavor to it.
That sounds good.
It's really good. If you see it, get it.
I like Honey Nut Cheerios too.
Oh, yeah, Honey Nut
That's good.
Cheerios.
Just like grab it out of the bag.
Awesome. All right. So this was actually a question that my wife actually brought up to me because again, going back to Fire Emblem and other games like that, and this goes for anime and TV too. When you play more than one character, when you play multiple characters, how do you? I guess really, this is one because you already answered kind of one half of this question, but the other half is how does that really work when you do multiple characters? Is it really done in one session? Is it multiple sessions? Is it different time periods? Like, is that something that you can talk about? Like, how does that work?
Sure. So that's happened to me lots of times in different games, different series, whatever. They often will be like, "You're villager A now," or whatever. So they just throw a character at you in the session. The first time it ever happened, I was like, our little crazy world that I get to work in. And so they're really good at, like, all I need an age, I need, you know, are we male, are we female? And I need, ideally I get a picture. If I don't have a picture, then, you know, give me some more than just age and sex. But, you know, I don't know how I do it, but for me, like, I can have a conversation with two different characters, and it's not that big a deal. It's a little bit harder if they're similar. Like, if they're kind of close, if they're the same age. If they're the same age and it's boy to girl, no problem. But if they're the same age and they're both girls or they're both boys, then I have to, like, really use my brain really hard. But often, I like to do the scene all the way down, reading both.
Okay.
But the director will often be like, okay, that's great, but let's do that, then we'll go back and we'll just do character A, and now we're gonna do a pass as character B, just so that it's really dialed in, and not just, you know, there's no blending or confusion. So like in Sonic Boom, I played both Tails and Snowy. I had a crush on myself, it was crazy. Yeah, so that was
It's
pretty.
such a hard episode.
I know. John flip-flop. More Tails. But it was so sweet, and I got to play both characters, and so there's a scene where they, you know, a couple of them where they talk to each other, and I'm like, this is awesome, I'm the whole page. Everybody just take a minute. I got this. So it's fun, and I don't know how I do it. It's a very strange thing, but I feel like my Saturday morning cartoons sort of were my early training, because, I mean, I went around the house being everybody. I was Captain Gay Man. I was, you know, I know, I did Tigger. I was, you know, I was, hey, boo-boo, want a picnic basket? You know, I did all of them together, and Kermit, and Miss Piggy, and, you know, Fozzie, and Wacko. I mean, it was ridiculous. But I always did it, and so I feel like that was kind of my early training without realizing.
Right.
So for Fire Emblem, I was Monica and Cornelia, and there weren't really very many scenes with them, or if there were, we always did one first. And that's the other thing is, like, if I've got a couple different characters, they typically will ask me which one I want to do first. And for me, the boys tend to work my voice a little bit harder. So if I've got a female character and a boy character, I'll typically ask to do the female first, because that's going to be probably higher in my register, and it's not going to be as tough on my voice as, you know, like, say, Kuramru. It was very hard on my voice. So, anyway, I hope that answered your question.
Oh, absolutely it did. And going back to the Saturday morning cartoons part too, it's like, that's really cool, because you realize, hey, without really knowing it, this is your calling. This is what's meant to be.
Who knew? I had no idea.
Yeah, you gotta love it when things accidentally fall into place like that in the best way.
It was ridiculous. I probably drove my family crazy.
Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Tails. Since you brought up Tails and going into Sonic Boom, that actually was one of my questions. So I was going to ask about that particular episode, how heart-wrenching that was, and how it kind of felt doing both of those roles, having to basically break your own heart, so to speak.
Yeah, it's weird to have a crush on yourself.
It is a little strange, I would think.
Yeah.
I can't say I would recommend it.
It's sort of weird.
But so Tails is, I mean, anybody in the crowd can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, Tails is the best sidekick ever, am I right? Right? Without a doubt, number one, with a bullet. Who would you say is your number two? Who, and it could be from anything. Who are some of your favorite, I mean, I guess the sidekicks that you love? Like, who, other than Tails?
Okay, Robin.
Nice.
He's a little bit lame, but...
Well, I mean, well, he's Nightwing.
Just a little bit, but he gets better, right?
He becomes Nightwing, so you gotta look forward to that.
Right? See, okay. Go with Robin. Sidekicks. What is it? Say it. Yeah, Tucker and Sam, for sure. Oh, they're actually great sidekicks.
Mm-hmm. You know, one of my favorites is Arthur from The Tick. I've always loved Arthur. Like, there's characters like that, but there's always that unique dynamic of a sidekick and a main character, and that's something that honestly, in any iteration of Sonic, has just been unparalleled.
Yeah. What's his face in Spider-Man? The guy in the chair. Oh my God, what's his name? Ned. Thank you. Yeah, he was the best guy in the chair. Maybe the guy in the chair. He was hilarious.
Nice.
Yeah.
Indeed. So, I know the last time that we met, I asked what was your favorite piece of Sonic merchandise. I have a question, but before I do that, I wanted to show something that I didn't know maybe you knew existed. Oh, he is going off already. So, I don't know if you've ever seen this before. This is one of the Hug Me Sonic figures that basically, if you clap or if you're hugging,
Is it like a Tickle Me Elmo?
it is like a Tickle Me Elmo.
Oh my God.
Give him a squeeze.
Hi there.
Aww.
He's not shaking.
Oh, yeah, squeeze him hard. There you go. Is he still there? Oh, no, shake him. I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go. Is he still like that? There he goes.
Oh my God, he's hilarious. Move better to hug me and I'll shake. Clap your hands.
Yeah.
Like a clapper.
Clap on. Clap on.
That's hilarious. I've not seen that.
I know.
I think I love it. That's so cute.
All the different times, it's just amazing within like the last couple of years, really arguably since the 25th anniversary of Sonic, just the amount of merchandise that I would have never thought back in like 91, 92, that in a million years we would have ever gotten. And I know that when we first met, you said that your favorite was the Build-A-Bear Sonic, the one that you never had.
Build-A-Bear, I love it.
What are some things that you would like to actually see of like Sonic and Tails? Like, what are some other pieces of like merchandise or swag or something that you really would want to see?
I really want a pop that's not exclusive.
Excellent.
I love that because I don't want people to have to spend ridiculous amounts just to get one, and I don't like when they're so hard to get. So I would love. I know you can. I think you can get a Sonic one, but you can't get Tails unless you search for it.
Yeah, because the flopped one was a Target exclusive,
It was a
right?
Target exclusive. I had to wait in line at Target to get my own doggone flopped.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And then,
7:30. Got my hoodie.
Yeah, Toy Collector's a Target.
And I didn't
goods.
get one because the first Target I went, they I think they only got like 6, and I was like, I don't know how many people were in front of me, but they got them before I got up there, and I'm like, wah, wah. So then I ran to the other Target that opened an hour later, and I managed to get one.
You got one?
Yeah.
Awesome. I got mine secondhand. I couldn't get one in the store at all.
So you gotta get up at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah. And even then, it's like,
It was lucky I even knew it was happening because the one before that was Comic-Con and GameStop, I think, had it. It was the double one with silver.
yeah, exactly. That was
It was like
GameStop
Super
exclusive.
Tails
Yeah.
and Silver, which I didn't know Tails won Super.
Yeah, because Silver didn't even get a Funko Pop before that. I was like, what? That's the first
Yeah,
one?
and then it's the
okay.
double.
And then he finally got one.
Yeah.
Silver's went away, so I was like, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't even know that one was happening until it was too late.
Give it time. I bet you, because they keep continuously, I can just put out the Werehog, he just got a Funko Pop. Like, I bet you in time.
I hope so. I hope they have one that everyone can just get.
You know what I would love to see? Have you seen the giant ones? You know, like the giant Pokemon ones, like the Mew, the Squirtle, and a few of the others? A big one of Tails. Some big old Tails head. That would be amazing. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well then, I believe that's all the questions that I have for you today. So, audience, if you are ready to ask a couple of questions, we will take questions for you. Let's go down the road.
Yes, so actually, one of my favorite things about this whole course on panel is that you were voicing Tails. Hey! I want to ask you, what was it like working on the project? What was that experience like being on
Well, it was clips here and there. So I literally got the script in pieces. I never got the whole script. I signed like 3 NDAs. I'm like, we need 3, like, because those other 2 didn't count. Fine, I'll sign another one. And because it was still COVID-y, I was in my closet recording for 2 or 3 of the initial sessions, and then I did get to go. I got to go on the lot at Paramount, which was awesome. I've worked on some of the lots before, but often I'm going in as like additional voices and things, and you get to park, but to get to drive onto the lot and have a like reserved parking space,
Nice.
is pretty fun. I know that's so very silly, but I got excited.
It's not silly if you're excited.
I was so excited. I was like a little kid. I'm like, oh my god! And then the guy was so cute at the gate because he got a. I actually washed my car because I was like, oh, I have a special spot. I don't want everybody to see my dirty car.
Get a little presentable. You got that real spot.
And sometimes they like make you open your trunk, so I made sure there was nothing in the trunk. It was so silly. So I get to the gate, and the guy, he was just so sweet. He's like, okay, you're gonna go through here to the road, like one of those like lifty, heavy gate thingies. After you're on there to get to a certain point. But you're on Paramount Lot, there's a water tower, you gotta take the water tower picture, right? You can't go and not take a water tower picture. So I stopped before, and I'm pretty far away, like I'm further than that back wall, driven away from the gate, like I'm probably double that. But I can tell that the guy can see me because he's waiting for me to get to the arm thingy so that he can hit the button so I can go on through, but I have pulled over. There's nowhere to pull over, I just stopped the car. And I got out to take my water tower picture. And he's like, what the hell is she doing? Taking my water tower picture, obviously! Anyway, so it was awesome. But I did get to work with Ben Schwartz. He was in Vancouver. Director was in Hawaii. I'm in Burbank. And then the other like editor people and everybody else that was on the Skype or Zoom or whatever thing they were using. Or sprinkled about LA. And it was so great to get to work with Ben Schwartz. That was truly, he is the nicest guy.
He just seems like just 100% genuine.
And he's genuine. He's not just like, I'm pretending to be a nice guy so people will think I'm a nice guy. He is a friggin' nice guy. And he's so funny, obviously. And he's just really, I'm so glad we got to work together the couple times that we did. Unfortunately, I did not get to work with Idris. I didn't know he was Knuckles. One of the times I went to Paramount, and it was like, I thought I was going to be finished because we had gotten through, I thought, everything, and they called me a couple times, but I didn't know. So I was like, God, I really want to ask who's Knuckles. I really want to ask. Who do I ask? And they probably can't tell me, so it's just me and the engineer, because I still haven't met anybody in person. I didn't meet anybody in person until the premieres. So I was too chicken to ask the screens, the director, so I was like, I can't do it. So I asked the engineer, and I'm like, do you know who's Knuckles? I'm like whispering, I'm like, there's nobody there. It's me and an engineer, and we're in this huge room. But I was like, do you know who's playing Knuckles? And he's like, not what? Like, because he doesn't know. He's not, familiar. I'm like, Knuckles, he's big red guy. Has anybody come in? And he's like, well, I mean, I don't know. If they did, I didn't record them. So, and I'm like, I asked the wrong person. Finally, so I didn't know it was him until he got announced. So, but he was lovely too. I met him on the red carpet very briefly, but everyone was so nice. Jim Carrey. Oh my God. I met him at the family day. And so I went up to them and was like, oh my gosh, and I'm asking permission to go meet him, because this is what I do. And they're like, of course you can meet him. And I was like, well, I don't know. So I go up to him, and I'm like, hi, I'm Colleen. I'm playing Tails. And he's so tall, and I'm so not. And so he looks down at me, and he takes both my hands, and he goes, I know. It was the cutest. And then I know we had a conversation after that, and we were both laughing, and people took pictures, but I have no idea what either of us said, because that's all I remember. So, anyway, it was amazing, truly. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh. Well, I watched the movie, and so I remember as it was playing, like, wow, look at all amazing songs they got for this movie. I don't think I could, I don't know, what's your favorite? Nice. Okay, cool. Excellent choice. Yeah, no, it was amazing. I couldn't believe they got all these songs for that movie. That was really cool. Pretty cool. And surprised, because I didn't know. They didn't tell me anything.
We actually have a roaming mic now. So yeah, we're about to get a roaming mic now.
Oh,
So that way,
okay.
anybody who's asking questions can answer the mic. But you,
Nice to see you too. I do like dialogue, and I very much like to work with my fellow actors. That's my favorite. I mean, you know, we often are alone, but yeah, the dialogue. And you know, if it's like super fun stuff, like because often even for the movie, some of it would be done like the animation wasn't totally finished, but they're like, yeah, we need to fill out this scene a little bit, and I'm like, roll it, and I'm like, you know, I can, you know, from all of the anime and stuff that I've done, like. Sometimes I don't even need to see it. Let's just do it, and I'll just follow it. I'll just like let's just chase it. So yeah, I've learned how to like run into things and fall over and duck. And, you know, I could do that all day. So like, that can be super fun too, especially if you've got people on Zoom and you're watching like the editors laugh. Like that's always fun.
awesome. Okay. How about you?
I will stay as long as my voice holds out and as long as they will have me. That's a really good question. You know, because of COVID, we haven't, and even before COVID, even if you were doing an original animation and things like that, we didn't get to work together anymore. It was really weird. Like I got to work on Dr. Stuffins, and we all could have been in there together, but they scheduled us all separately. And then I was on If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, and same thing. They brought everybody in separately, and I kept asking them like, but I want to do it together. Why can't we do it together? It's so much more fun. And to me, it's actually better because then you have that give and take. So honestly, I find out people that are on shows with me like in places like this. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, because I'm by myself in my closet, and so I don't really know. But that's a really good question. You know, I'm sure there are lots of up and comers that are on their way up. So I will happily pass the torch when they. Well, I don't know how happy I'll be. Let's be honest. No, but and if it's time, it's time. And believe me, we all get it. Which is why it was such a wondrous thing that I got to do the movie, because we often get replaced, and we get replaced on lots of things. I've been replaced before, like I didn't get to keep doing Wasp. I was totally bummed out about that, but it happens. It happens to all of us. So you just that's the business part of the show business. It is. It's a business, and they want what they want. And sometimes they're like, new cast, People post things and like tag me and stuff. So yes, I am familiar with her. So yeah.
All right, so I hate to interrupt, but if you have a question for Colleen, you mind lining up over here with me?
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Okay,
Those two first, and her, and then everybody else line up. Awesome. Yeah, go ahead and line up to where Jose is over there. We'll start asking questions. Go for it.
Hello. Out of all the, I guess, different tales that you've done, what is your favorite? Like Sonic Boom or like the movie? Which one is your favorite?
Gosh. I mean, I love all of it. I just love playing Tails. But, I mean, being in the movie, like I've said was really, really special. But working on Sonic Boom, there was nothing like it. That cast was just, we laughed our faces off. It was ridiculous. They should not have paid us. We just had too much fun. I can't believe anything ever got done, seriously, because all we were doing was laughing. It was like just this, so it was really, I would come home and literally my face hurt from smiling so much. And I was exhausted because but also in the best mood ever. So it was magical.
And Boom is incredible. Like, if any of y'all have never seen the Sonic Boom cartoon, watch it. It is incredible. But
So
don't worry about the game. Watch the cartoon.
Funny, right? It was funny on the page. Like, I don't always get a script ahead of time, but when I do, I'm like, oh crap, I didn't read my script. I waited for those Sonic Boom scripts. The second that it entered my email box, I was like, click open, and I read the whole thing, and I laughed out loud, and then we laughed even more, because then it was funny on the page, and then,
I bet you it would be amazing to hear like the extra bits that kind of came through that, because you can tell when you're watching any form of media or playing a video game, you can tell when those are involved, especially like actors and voice actors and everything, that they are having a blast. You can tell they love it, and it shines beautifully in Sonic.
I wish somebody had been wearing a GoPro like the whole time, because it would have been, oh my god, we had so much fun. So much fun.
Hello there. So my question is, I think we all know at least a little bit about how the voice acting industry works, and the fact that anybody who wants to be a voice actor doesn't really have a clear set of steps as to how they do it. Everyone's journey on how they get their foot in the door and break out to the industry is so different. It's a very different kind of industry than on-screen acting or stage acting or vocal work with music. We do performance. And I was wondering, since everyone's journey was different, what was the one factor that allowed you to get your foot to the door and break out in the industry?
Oh gosh, who knows why or how, so I started out doing musical theater, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So I went to Los Angeles to do animation, and I wanted to do animation. Like, I wasn't just like, I want to do all things voiceover. I wanted to do animation, and everyone was like, you can't just do animation. I'm like, well, yes, I can, because that's what I want to do. So they were like, no, you have to do commercials, you have to do this, they're like, there are steps. And I'm like, steps. So I'm like, fine, I will do your commercial demo, but I'm putting characters on it, because that's what I do. So that's what I did. That was my little rebel move. And then I was like, you idiot, why don't you want to do commercials? They're so easy. And talk about minimal input for maximum output. I would spend more time in the car driving to the place than, actually recording commercials. So do commercials. It's, it's good money and easy. So I did things a little bit backwards. And so I did my demo before I took a voiceover class too. I did things a little bit backwards. My very first job was a reporter Barbie book. Remember those little books you push the button?
Right.
Yeah, and I was Skipper. It's fun to be a reporter. It's fun to be a reporter. It's fun to be a reporter. That was my big first job. And then kind of right on the heels of that, I booked my first series. And then my first anime, because I was working on the Kids Room 402, and then Digimon came along. And funny enough, Digimon ended up on TV first because it was anime, and we were like, done, throw it up there. So who knows why or how. I had been auditioning for at least 2 years before I booked anything. I was ready to quit. I had 17 cents in my bank account. I was working 3 jobs. It was rough, and I almost quit. So it's a really hard, it's a hard thing. Acting in any realm it's just hard. It's hard to break in, and it's a really good question why or how it worked for me. I got lucky.
I see.
But it's one of those things. If you throw enough spaghetti against the wall, something's gonna stick. I threw a lot of spaghetti. It was messy in there.
Yes.
You just gotta keep going for it. You just try. And you can't, don't second guess yourself. Like, don't try to be somebody else. You are you, and there's a reason that you are you, and there's a reason that you sound the way that you do, there's a reason you approach things the way that you do. I taught a voiceover workshop for a little bit, and we did commercial copy, and we did animation copy, and to me, like, I read it, and I'm like, well, that's the way you say it, because obviously, not true. Like, if you listen to like 4 different people picking up the same piece of copy, they're gonna read it 4 different ways, because nobody thinks the way you do, nobody knows what you know, nobody has experienced what you've experienced but you, because you are unique. And you know, that's the best thing I can tell you is if you want to do voiceover, stay true to you. And of course, we all steal from each other. Like you say, ooh, I love that, I'm gonna try that, but then put your own spin on it, you know? So.
Indeed.
Extremely well said.
Thank you very much. In the case with Tails, he exemplifies the innocence we all had in childhood. And in childhood, cartoons were all figures for people we looked up to. And as kids, we all wished we could do that. So to be a voice actor on major big screens is really cool. I'd like to say thank you for that, for bringing that dream to life. And Tails is underrated. He deserves more credit. So I just appreciate him.
Well, thank you.
The boy needs all the love.
Next question. Howdy. So I know you mentioned a couple of things. I know you mentioned that you weren't really didn't play too many games, but I would like to know though if you prefer Nintendo or Sega when you were younger. And also, props to my man G.
Colleen.
I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can choose one. I had an Atari. How about that? I'll pick Atari.
Now I have a question. First of all, excellent answer, because I was the same. Which Atari? 2600, 5200, 7800? Do you remember? Small cartridge or big one?
For God's sake, I don't remember. 80 million years ago. We got really excited. Stick. That was fun.
Did it have a number pad?
I don't think so.
So probably 2600.
I was gonna say that was my first instinct was the 2600, but I'm not.
There you go.
I don't know. We played Pong and Space Invaders and, you know. Boop, boop. I was really good at it.
So if you love Space Invaders,
I liked Frogger.
oh, Frogger's amazing. Still to this day. It's like Space Invaders is still around and they keep making new and rebirths. The same thing with Pac-Man. Like those franchises that we grew up with from our generation are still around today. So if you get a moment, you should try Space Invaders Extreme.
Oh,
It's amazing.
taking it to a new level.
Yeah, to the next level. But yes, you absolutely should. It's
My
awesome.
sister had a Game Boy, but, you know, I wasn't good at that either. I was like, how do you, there's just little dots. Like, how do you see what's what? It was too. Aha.
Well, when you're trying to see through that green and black versus like actual black and white.
Right?
See, I had a Game Gear, so I had a different problem. It's the fact that if Sonic moved too fast, you literally could not see him.
Nice.
Next question.
I love your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
I was wondering, have you ever met any of the previous voice actors of Tails? And if so, what are your opinions on them and their performances?
Well, I don't comment on other people's performances, but I do know Kate Higgins. I actually know her very well, and I was at the callback for Tails, and she was there because she was being called back for Styx because we were auditioning for Sonic Boom. And I was called back for Tails and Styx, and she was there for Styx. And so we're chatting, and she's lovely, and I just love her to pieces. And I didn't know she played Tails. And so we were chatting, and that came up, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna audition for your part, that's your part. No. She goes, no. We've talked about this because she'd been for the games for, I don't know how long she played Tails, but she basically gave me her blessing. She's like, no. If you get it, I'm happy because they don't want me. She's like, they're not gonna let me keep it. Doesn't matter what I do. I'm not here for that because they've already told me. So she was good with it. So and I love her and she's wonderful. She's very, very talented. So I'm sure her version of Tails was amazing. The previous Tails before that, I am not familiar. I've never met them. I don't think it was two guys, right?
Right, I believe so.
Right?
I'm not sure what it means, but yes.
I've got it in my pocket.
Ones that you were cheating.
Yes.
Yeah, right? So I'm not familiar, but I do love Lisa King Higgins, so. And she's my Sakura to my Ino.
Nice.
All right, next question.
Out of all the characters that you voiced, who's your favorite?
I'm so sorry, it was mumbling.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Out of all the characters you voiced, who was your favorite?
That's so hard, because every voice that I do is every character is like a little piece of me. So it's really hard to pick a favorite. Like I love Tails, of course. I loved playing jazz. That was so much fun. I loved being Wasp. Who doesn't want to be a superhero? Konohamaru, hilarious. Cho-Cho, so funny. I love them all. It's hard. I can't pick favorites. Really hard.
Next question.
So, with all the different games of Sonic that you've voiced in, do you have a dream role that you want to do
Dream role in the Sonic
or
world?
it could be previous games, it could be games now.
Big the Cat.
Nice. I thought you were being serious.
I can do it.
I mean, Johnson,
Big
John.
the Cat. I don't know. And mostly because I know the other people that play these parts, so I am never the one that wants to take anybody's part. It's yours. You keep.
You know what I would imagine is that if somehow they adapt IDW comic into a cartoon, which they should. If they ever do that,
Heard it here.
I could imagine him actually being a really good tank. I could see that. I could totally see that.
Nice. I'll do it.
Next question.
Alright, so of course you say that you voiced Ino and Konohamaru in Naruto.
Yes.
Talking about both the original series as well as Shippuden, of those two characters, who did you have more of an emotional attachment to, and which one do you think had more of a tragic story? Would it be Konohamaru dealing with the third Hokage's death, or Ino dealing with Asuma's death?
I feel like they both had a hard time with Asuma. I gotta really dig deep for this one. That's a good question. I think probably emotional connection was probably Konohamaru. There was something really special about him. He had such exuberance and the way he looked up to Naruto and how hard he tried. He worked his little patootie off too. He was going to be the next Hokage, and that is it. Even though, it didn't work out that way, but and he also admired Naruto, so it was sort of that that's my hero, but I'm going to exceed my hero, kind of, and she kicked butt too, but I feel like, I don't know, she didn't give up, but I feel like she had a little more moments of giving up. Konohamaru never quit. That kid just never quit. And then the emotional stuff, man, that fight, that wrecked me. And it's I'm watching this animation and I'm crying in the studio. I mean, it was a lot for both of them, but I think that fight scene with Konohamaru, and I think it was raining, and I was just Mary, what are you doing to me? I can't, it was a lot. So, but yeah, that was a good question. Thank you.
For anybody new who just came in, if anybody else has any other questions, line up to see who's there, and we can go ahead and get those questions answered for you. Anybody else have any questions too?
I don't know if you feel comfortable talking about this, but there's been a lot of articles lately about discrepancy in voice actor pay rates in anime versus games versus films versus domestic versus, and I don't think anyone understands the full scale of that. Would you be willing to, tell us the differences and, because I think we can all basically agree that voice actors aren't getting paid enough. They're not getting enough dues in their performances, and I think right now with the latest drama, everyone's kind of of the opinion of why don't voice actors get residuals and things like that? Would it kind of bypass a lot of pay disputes? And we kind of just want a little more insight on that, if you'd be willing to give it.
It's tricky. So we have an actors union. SAG-AFTRA is now merged. So SAG-AFTRA is our union. And a lot of anime used to fall in the non-union category. And so there are many actors that do this. Oh gosh, there's so much information. Anime doesn't pay well. We'll just start with that. Whether it's union or non-union, I always call it my Trader Joe's money. It doesn't pay you well at all. And it was, seriously, it was Trader Joe's money. Which, I'll take it, but it wasn't like, you're not getting rich doing anime. It's not gonna happen. Which is interesting because it's a lot harder. It's really friggin' hard. You're watching the screen and you gotta match the lip flaps and you're reading the script, so your eyes are like this, and then you have to be acting at the same time. It's really, really hard. And they don't pay you for it. So, you know what? It is what it is, what are you gonna do? That being said, there is a lot more of it that is union. And so the thing about union versus non-union, whether you're not getting paid all that well, but you're gonna get credit toward your health insurance and toward your pension, and that's a big deal. Because once you retire as an actor, we don't get 401ks, we don't have, like our retirement is what it is, and we don't get residuals for that either. So if at the very least it's union, you're gonna get credit toward your health insurance, you're gonna get credit toward your pension, that's gonna help you later. But we do get residuals for original animation, so that's a good thing. As to what's been happening lately, I'm guessing you're talking about the Jennifer Hale thing. This is what we're talking about.
Well, yeah, there's Jennifer Hale and Helena Taylor, because at the end of the day, no matter how messy that got, everyone was kind of like, that's an incredibly low pay rate, no matter what number she quoted there, whether it was the 4K or the 15K, for a title that's been around for over a decade to do the third installment. That's really not a lot. And it's also surprising, I would think it's surprising to most of us that a cast of a AAA game or...
Yeah, and depending on who you are, like for video games, it's a set rate, that's it. We fought hard to get residuals for video games. They would not do it. So now what they do, they call it I'm going to say it wrong, so sorry, union people, if I'm saying this wrong. They call it is it a bump? It's a bonus, it's a something. So, and what they can do is they can pay you that bump or bonus up front. And it's based on units sold. So if they're going to sell X amount of units, then you're going to get X bump. But pretty much, and there are some voice actors that get double scale, but that's, it's rare, but it's also not a lot of money, I mean, it's wonderful, great, give me double scale, that's fantastic, but it's still not a lot of money, and that's it. And if that game is making millions and millions of dollars, and you made $2,000, that doesn't seem equitable. But they haven't, believe me, we fought. So now we have our toe in the door, and hopefully we'll get increases as it goes. There's nothing you can do about it, and then it is what it is. That's the industry. Them's the breaks, kid.
Yeah, I was asking about that because aside from Jennifer Hale and Helena Taylor, then there was also the case for the Jujutsu Kaisen cast only getting paid like $150 to $300 for a movie that got like tens of millions for it in the States. And then there was the issue with Kyle McCarley and Crunchyroll, who refused to even meet with SAG-AFTRA. And basically it's I feel like that's kind of an eye-opener for all of us as fans who are interested in voice acting, but don't see the non-glamorous parts of it. And I do think that's actually really important for those of us who are deciding, is this really something we want to fight for? And I kind of wanted your take on that.
Yes, well, I mean, I can't speak to specifics about things that happen with specific people or whatever. I wasn't part of it. It has nothing to do with me. And what I can say is I know Jennifer Hale, and she couldn't be more, she is the most upstanding person. I know she is all about looking out for other voice actors. So any trash talk that went her way, they didn't have all the facts, and there's no way it was true. So that I can tell you for certain, even though I have zero input as far as the details of that. She's a class act, and she would never do anything untoward. And those other things you're talking about, I don't know because it didn't involve me. But yeah, but do we make movie star money? We do not make movie star money. We don't. Wah, wah. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so this is going to be the last question before we gear up for the next panel.
Hey, me again. Hello. Tickle me tails. I never thought I'd say that.
I didn't either until I saw it.
Anyway, my question is, Sonic Boom, do you have a favorite episode? And if you don't, that's okay. Do you have a favorite joke from the show, maybe?
Okay, so Tails Crush.
Yes.
Kind of goes without saying that was my favorite. And now I'm forgetting the name of the episode where we did Duditude. Was it called Duditude? Right? Oh my god. That was hilarious. It was so much fun. Anytime they let me sing, but Duditude, are you kidding me? That was amazing.
If you've never seen Sonic in a boy band, you need to look this up.
I'm
It's
telling you.
amazing.
Duditude is back, yo. What, yo? We got the power, the funk. Something's in my trunk. I can't remember. Anyway, did you have a favorite one?
The one where Robotnik becomes a roommate with Sonic for a month because his lair got messed up a bit too much. And they have the heart-to-heart talk, which is not heart-to-heart.
Isn't that the episode where they close it with Robotnik and Sonic like on the couch and he turns to him and says, "So what's really going on between you and Amy?" And Sonic like gives this look to him, cut the mic. Is it that episode? I think it is.
I would also say any episode with Dave the Intern.
Yes! Anything Dave the Intern.
I
Anything.
wanted a spin-off for Dave the Intern. I just wanted a whole
He does need his own series.
solo show.
The true villain.
Dave the Intern.
The true villain of Sonic.
Oh,
Dave the
Lord.
Intern.
He had braces on his bucket teeth and I loved him so very much.
Incredible.
All right, so I think that was the last question until the next panel.
Okay.
Okay, well, everybody, thank you all for coming out.
Thank you guys.
And thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Always a
Seriously,
pleasure.
thank you guys so much for all your great questions and hanging out.
So
Did you have something back there? No. Oh, you're just waiting. My favorite musical. Ooh, see, I'm so bad with favorites. I like them all. I was just listening to Hamilton this morning because the football guys next door were too loud. I'm like, I'm gonna play Hamilton in your face. I knew that was bad for him, but I couldn't help it because he was talking and talking and kept me up late. Anyway, blah blah blah. Hamilton. Once on This Island. Into the Woods. Ragtime. All of them. I really like musicals, but those are I just pulled out them. Evita. Tails, the musical.
All right, so stick around. I think Colleen is going to stick around for the next panel with the rest of the voice actors. We have Laura Faye Smith and Samantha Kelly coming up next. So.
Princesses. Thank you guys.
Thank you all. Thank you.